Hi folks, welcome live to the battle for the Seven Kingdoms. So we have the final day of the top 4 stage. Superduck's fan club fighting against Queen Elizabeth's bastards. And the first game has been played in this one. As you can see, win by 5 is awaiting in the final. As for this matchup, so we have right way down losing against Superduck in the first one. So Queen Elizabeth's bastards need to win the last two now, and we are going to watch I believe this one now, Francis versus Bamboo. And so first of all I will join the voice channel on Discord if anyone wants to commentate with me, and then we'll see if the game has started. If not, we will have a look at the decks. There we are. Still not started, so let's have a look at what we have. So it's Banner of the Wolf for Night's Watch, and the plan here is very familiar. So we have 2 copies of March to the Wall, we have all the Ramses, all the recruiters, and a copy of Yoren, Bolton Flares to take care of the Chuds. Basically the plan is to remove everything the opponent has. Stranger and Muguris here as well. Now it is slightly weak to two things. It can be rushed a little bit, so if it doesn't kill off everything in round 1, opponent can get pretty easy power against this. And of course if it doesn't long term manage to reduce the board, so if you can get some kind of foothold and stop losing characters, then of course you're going to be better in challenges. But we saw Dothraki deck in the previous round get to 14 and then couldn't get to 15. There's mutinies here as well, I forgot to mention. And there is the wall to take characters eventually in Castle Black, in case you have some Womb of the World or something. But it's not Targaryen, it's Baratheon this time. And it's Qohor. So yeah, as far as rush goes, this is very rushy, so if Robert is in play and gets some power military challenges with Lightbringer, then it's going quickly, but yeah, have to carry him through all the mutinies and stuff. And as we keep saying, Francis forgot to include King in the North in his plot deck, which is, in my opinion, an oversight. But he does have two claimers, so he could, I mean, in the previous round he did some military pressure even. Don't remember what it was against. Was it Stark Filthy? That worked out pretty okay for him. Yeah, the rest of the deck is some other big, so Beric, there's 3 Stannises, there's Sir Richard Thorpe, and there's the Melisandre package. And of course Milks can go on those recruiters, right? It's a bit awkward though. And yeah, wide board to have a Zoro High. Don't know if that's necessarily going to work. Let's see, have they started now? Still waiting. So this is game 2, and then the decider, if Baratheon wins, is 3 companies for Baratheon against Uniting the Realm. So 2 very prominent decks from the last Stalek tournament. Bara 3 companies was King of Swiss, and of course Night's Watch Uniting won the tournament. They're not exact copies, but pretty much the same decks. That could be interesting. I'm not sure if those 2 played in at Stalek. Don't remember, but I don't think so. So Francis looks like he's a bit late. Hopefully nothing went wrong with the time zones. Yeah, John Arryn is a source of renown, can't carry him through any resets, he cannot be saved. Justin Massey speeds things up. Shira, if she's in play, can maybe save some some power. But if you're getting Robert killed, for instance, that's not looking good for your game in general. These bodyguards, they will... is there the no save area? Ooh, 2 copies, so she needs attention anyway. Immediately she needs to be milked. Otherwise, you can just Morgulis and nothing can be saved, regardless of bodyguards. Cold hands as well. There's no cancel for that. He just comes in, takes Robert out. Lots of counterplay. We'll see. I think Bara needs to start really well here. Get a really good combination of cards that cannot be easily removed. The removal is one thing, right? So that's where Night's Watch can win. I don't know about playing the 6-cost wall and Queen's Crown and stuff, and taking it really slowly and stalling. That doesn't seem like it's going to work, especially since you can just seize the wall, right?
Morning, everyone.
2 layways.
So,
hello.
Yes, you called for commentators, so I came. But Rupert is playing the Smugglers list, like Bear FC, correct?
Is that the next game? I thought it was Francis against Banner Wolf next.
It is Francis versus Banner Wolf next.
Yes, I think so.
All right. Then don't mind me.
Yeah, I don't know. So you have opinions about the Qohor deck. Do you think it's...
I was about to say, this just gives us a good opportunity to talk about how Francis is running the ideal Qohor plot list. Initiative wins games. It has been said correctly.
Well, you can beat Marched, I guess, to go first in some situations. So if it's marched into Ramsey, you can kind of get around that. That much is true, I guess.
Well, let's take a look at what he has here, right? So first of all, he is leading with the Maiden, as any proper Bear Qohor should, because they do want to control initiative to get those intimidates off. I don't think they're running Warhammer here, though. That was a big component of the previous idea. But they also have a couple other very high initiative ones with Robert's Rebellion and then City Besieged. So it definitely is key. Because they're not running Intimidate here, I suppose it just depends on what Night's Watch flips, because Night's Watch Wolf can go first or second, depending if they want to Ramsay you or put down Harrenhal. Does the Night's Watch list have Harrenhal, Miha?
No, surprisingly, no Harrenhals in this one. We were surprised when we looked at the initial list here. And yeah, 3 copies of Last-Herd Scouts, which don't do anything here. So
yeah, so that's a dead card in this matchup, but very effective in others.
Yeah, the thing is though, so lack of Intimidate really hurts Bara Qohor. That's why some went to the core Robert. But I think in this particular matchup, it's not like you need to kneel everything that's going to do a challenge back. There's no bloody cups or stuff like that for Night's Watch to hurt you. They hurt you with triggers that remove your characters. They don't hurt you necessarily in challenges.
Yeah, so the pilots for the Banner Wolf deck, I didn't check the matchups for this one. I don't know if it's Hero or if it's Jing, but
it's Bamboo.
It's Bamboo,
it's
actually.
Bamboo. All right. Oh, I missed all. My guess was poor, but for Bamboo, I think they'd probably be wise not to prioritize the location game here, because I think you mentioned earlier Seas is a factor, but they also have 2 explicit location hate plots. Of course, that doesn't really bother the wall that much because it's action in any phase, but it's still something to keep in mind.
Just to let you know, they are starting.
Okay, perfect.
I just set it up.
Yeah, so my prediction is that I would give the edge to Night's Watch. We saw in the Swiss there was a game against Stark Hollow Hill where Francis did survive. There was some misplays there from Stark, but it was a tough one. He was not optimistic ahead of that one, and I think this is, as far as aggro goes, it's possibly even a step further in that direction, so
Yes,
could be tough.
and that's really the biggest weakness for any kind of attachment deck is aggro and attrition, just because you have to invest so much money in playing non-characters to get on your board.
Well, the one Intimidate that he does have, it's in play already, so there's that at least.
Let's see how much Night's Watch cares about that, though.
Started with 3 cards in shadows, so I guess not so much.
Oof.
Fun.
That has to be almost everything he has in Shadows, so Bolt and Flares and Death Result.
Yeah. You can discard Hand Judgment. I don't think there's any events in Qohor, I would assume.
Nope.
And discards Last Card Scouts as well, which you did say it's a dead card, but when I was testing against Lenny Reigns, one thing that it does lack on is if you don't steal any characters, there's actually very few power icons into the deck.
Well,
That is a good point.
Tormund's never going to be safe because he can take bodyguards and he is not a lord. There's no additional copies, so whatever power is on him, you can always just get rid of, unless Shira Errol, I guess, is in play.
Right. I'm interested to see.
Is a Baratheon character or no? Does she work on anything?
I think she works on
Right, bring
anything.
her.
Let me check. Oh yeah, she does work on everything, you're right. Sorry. I think it's a good start for Francis here. I mean,
Ooh, okay. The one thing that we said wasn't necessarily going to work. Big tempo hit that could just be dead next round, for instance. I mean, there's nothing in the discard pile.
So how much is Tattersalt's shadow cost?
2, I think.
2.
2. So he can bring him out with the old forest hunter or ranger, whatever they're called, by pitching another card and challenges to get that intrigue. To get that that intrigue challenge through. I wonder if Francis bothers tossing intrigue with Celise at that point. Yep, I suppose he does.
That's the first thing he does. Well,
Maybe he doesn't have characters in hand, could just be all attachments.
is he going to take some weird disputed claim on her? I wouldn't think so. Ooh, that's a nice hit.
That's a good one.
Yeah, even though you know the downsides, sometimes the best thing is you just can't be inactive. You just have to make them use their events or use their tricks like Tattersalt in this case.
There is only
Yeah,
2
that's
mutinies, I think. Okay, so free power, I guess, and military now. With Tormund in both challenges if he wants him. I mean, it will force Bamboo to just pull the trigger on the resets, of course, if Tormund is gaining 3 power or 2 power per round. But the question is, when that trigger is pulled, what do those 4 cards in hand achieve? Does he have something to play out after that?
Or he can keep the stuff in shadows.
Yeah, there is just the potential if Francis can keep his discard pile clean for essentially, using a turn to just get a large seized on the wall here, which would neutralize that tempo that Bamboo just dropped down.
Bamboo has to decide now if he wants to spend another card to bring something out of shadows, because I suppose old Forest Hunter is dying.
Mm-hmm.
doesn't do it. So I suppose this is now the plan, right? To just reset and start anew.
Yeah, but Silis is staying.
Do you want to trade Azora High to not lose the 3-cost investment?
I mean, it goes into Seal for Selisi then.
Yeah, it's not the best.
It's not the best, but you might have to do it. Otherwise, yeah, as you say, it just goes. But then if it goes, maybe there isn't any panic. But you do have to kind of reset. I mean, it's
Yes.
all super repeatable. So it's 5 power, next round it's going to be 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's gonna be eventually a disputed claim for Silis if he wants it.
Yeah, so there has to be a reset coming now.
Ooh.
Oh, and lay waste on that bodyguard. Yeah.
That's getting an econ card. I think there's nothing else now. And in this one there is no heir to the Iron Throne.
Mm.
Yeah, that is a gamble there. I suppose, was he going perhaps with, he replaced that with At the Gates, right? Trying to figure out, looking at the lists.
Yeah, the
He
gates.
replaced Force March with Robert's Rebellion.
And then eventually we'll have City Besieged that nails, for instance, the wall and the econ card. So it's if you can get that far, it's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he probably knows about City Besieged. He might want to play around that with using wall.
Yeah, you can't play around it with econ. I mean, and for the wall, there's nothing at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment, yes.
Okay, so now we'll see what the 4 cards are for Francis. Still not over yet, of course. You have to, even if you do have characters now, there's still 2 marches and a stranger you have to play around. Yeah, letting Bamboo go first. So if there was Harrenhal, this is it can be a pain, but not in this one. So I don't think there's any particular danger going second.
No, it's better because you can get Ramsey, right?
Yeah, but now there is Ghost, so if there's characters left over in the hand, Wall will take them, I think. Or not.
So I don't know if there's any echo from my.
No, I think we're fine at the moment.
Okay.
That was a clutch milk of the poppy right there.
Ooh, but not good that he goes into the challenges without anything.
No. Makes me think he had a handful of attachments.
Well, just playing out a couple, like a generic power icon or something, would have kept the pressure on. But now can be trouble. Okay, so there was Stat Assault all along. Didn't feel like that was the play. I guess maybe if Mutiny wasn't discarded, he could have tried that, but now it comes out and Saved by the Watch. Okay, so March. If you march a big one, you can then just take it. I was going to say it was kind of one of the, let's say, above average situation for Francis in this one. I thought he was looking good, but now not so much.
It was that lay waste. It's key.
Yeah. Yeah, and no air to counter that. I mean, okay, we have some disagreements about the plotline in Qohor. I mean, I'm not. Well, I have my opinions, but it's inconclusive which version is better. But I think, as far as this particular matchup goes, Air and King in the North would have helped a lot.
I think we both have air in our lists.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
thought
so
Francis just basically copied yours, maybe.
no, so he added Maiden. I didn't run Maiden in mine.
Yeah, and also he has does he have the new plot that discards attachments?
Yes.
Yes,
Burning the
he is
books?
burning. He is burning the books.
Which I
So,
guess it
which
only
would help
really,
against saved, right?
yeah, it gets rid of that. If you can continue to have power on characters after that kind of play has happened against you, which is the big question. And it can get rid of ward potentially.
It can get rid of yeah, the save the watch, I guess.
Okay.
So this big wall investment really not doing much.
Good, good.
But he does hit some of the econ on the Copper's turn, so just 1 volt. Presumably, unless he marshes Queen's Crown, then maybe that milk would be better saved. I think he might want to actually use this.
I think he might, yeah, I might have to give him an action. But I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, one of the volts is gone. And that makes a difference, because you might want to leave yourself the Bolton Flare gold, which you can't if... yeah, okay. Gets the recruiter anyway. Yeah, now what? Now you can't get the Chad into play.
Right.
So you have to marshal 2
Yeah.
bigs and then play around marched. I guess that's rough.
It's tough. Yeah, I feel like in these situations for Smith, the best thing is always to previous phase saying I will have actions in the marshalling phase.
Yeah, the
Just to be able
downside
to
is that
speed through it. Yeah.
the opponent, you remind the opponent, right, to kneel the econ first.
Yeah, but you have to, right? Otherwise,
mean-
they're going to speed through it, and then it gets.
Yeah,
Yep.
here is...
Ho.
Ooh, interesting.
That doesn't. If he can
Not a
kneel
prime
him,
target, I think.
No, but it can
If
get swapped. At least it's an
can get
attachment.
swapped, but maybe if he used Melisandre to kneel him, then he can put down a duplicate. Or duplicate, maybe, like a Chud, right?
Mhm.
So,
Still plenty of econ. Can still get Melisandre and Sir Richard Thorpe or something like that.
mm,
At which point you might even kneel Tethersault.
0 gold
Okay.
or bamboo, so you cannot lay waste this turn, in theory. Oh, nothing. He must have just drawn all attachments.
It's it is something sometimes like that in these
Yeah.
games.
Yeah, I know. What does he run? 14? 17. Okay. Yeah.
Well, what he does have is some time, because Night's Watch will get, what, 3 power or something. And he did leave the econ for himself if he top decks well.
I mean, there's not much power gain for Nightwatch, so
I definitely think the game here is he probably has characters in hand, if we can remember, but they're likely larger, right? Or that whole scenario with larger and a smaller because the recruiter is out, and then Marched will be coming regardless. So, gotta sit on it.
Well, if he plays without characters for a few more rounds, so 4 plots. 2 of those are march to the wall.
Yep.
One is stranger, which if you think the stranger, if the opponent's really struggling and you don't want to stranger them, you can just waste it when there's nothing in play.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one for Night's Watch is what?
1 second.
I think siege prep.
Oh,
Siege prep.
yeah. Well, up to 7. And still standing, that recruiter.
Hmm.
Which one do you play? I would just waste the stranger, maybe.
Yeah.
Mm.
You could play March and get rid of recruiter, and that gets rid of hunting accident.
Yeah, or ghost to
Yeah, or
get rid
the
of
milk,
milk.
sure.
Does he use siege prep? That's what Henry is putting in the chat. Oh. Hmm.
Which one?
Probably the ghost marches.
Yeah, I'm also thinking ghost because recruiter is kind of blocking.
Yep.
Yeah,
But
can
Francis
still
is
trigger,
much
yeah. And recruiter is kind of weird with Mad King's command when both players can choose characters.
Mm-hmm.
Have to really think as first player. Well, if he's top deck nothing again, then it's over. But if 3 characters come in, then we start playing, I think.
I think something like Melisandre, and then I don't know.
Melisandre
Which-
would be, I think, a clutch move for Francis if he can deal that
Yeah.
recruiter and then put down a Chud for Ramsay. All right.
Well,
2 or less. Okay.
but Bamboo is second player, so he can choose one of the Bolton flyers in shadows. That will kill John for sure, and then Stan is getting the other marched, I think.
But yeah, I think at this point it's just I think Stannis goes in. I think he's sub if he's able to do challenge. Yep, there we are.
Then he may as well do
Doesn't
power and try to get insight or the quasi
it
insight.
doesn't keep Ramsey and takes recruiter instead of Ramsey because that would lose the attachment. I don't know. Maybe that's
I don't know if I
not-
agree with that. I would have I kind of really like the idea right now of in this case Francis can use Lightbringer on Stannis to get some tempo back. He can swap
Yeah,
out of
that's what
that
I think
hunting accent.
as well.
If he runs 2, which I think he does.
Yeah,
yes, he
but
has 2.
he can choose not to keep the recruiter though. But
Yeah, but why wouldn't he then Ramsey him away?
He could swing power, right, and then use Lightbringer to stand Stannis. I think at that point he has to keep Stannis standing because of the flare threat. Actually, he has no gold, so he doesn't have to worry about the
No
flare.
gold,
He can
yes.
do both. He can do both.
Yeah, but only if hunting
This is
accident is still in play. Otherwise, you can't Lightbringer.
But he swings power first, right? Because 7 to 7. 0 gold, unless I'm missing some Night's Watch strength
That's
bump.
not keep it.
Yeah, if you don't keep recruiter, then
Recruit.
yeah, the only attachment is that seized, and then Stannis cannot really stand himself in any way, from what I can see.
But the military is not super fun.
Yeah, that's true. We will kill John, I guess, both players. Well, Francis will get cards. Bamboo might get power, and
I
then
see,
it's
yeah.
March.
If he pitches recruiter, yeah, that's a good point.
Well,
By the way,
he
do you know if
keeps
there's
everything.
is there what's it called? Forest Patrol in Night's Watch deck.
I don't think so. It might be, but
Okay.
I'm not sure. Okay.
What happened?
Oh, don't miss on Metkin's command. That's
What did he misclick? Uh-oh.
so he chose the 3 characters.
Might be that he chose something
Oh,
incorrect.
he failed to choose the saved by the watch.
Ooh, yeah, that's...
Okay.
I'm sure he
How do you
meant to.
manually...
That's not like
Probably.
a fuck up
That's
that
not
you
a...
do. Yeah, just fail to select
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not good for him. That can turn the game if Francis says you're not taking that back.
Yeah, it's a tough situation. Like at this point, it's just semifinals. There's not a lot of room for errors here.
Well, if Francis doesn't let him take the saved by the watch, then I think good job he saved that stranger. Although
Yeah.
Stannis can get himself a bodyguard in the meantime. Yeah, there was basically just that one in play, so there was no reason not to choose it, that attachment. Big moment, because I think without that there's well, he does have the hunting accident, so Francis does still have the play to do 2
Lightbringer.
challenges with Stannis, so well, big moment, let's see.
I don't know how you manually adjust the board state that way, right? This is where a bit of a downside of the Iron Throne, where this situation would never happen in real life because it'd be in front of them, they would choose it. There'd be no misclicking. Yeah, I don't think Francis is going to allow it.
Yeah.
I think he's within his right to deny that at this point. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a mistake, but I guess.
I mean, there's no strategy reason not to choose it, right? It's just you don't see that you have to click on it. That's the thing.
Yep.
But yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's...
Well, now there's a game, and actually now France is not looking so bad, actually.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this one goes, especially if well, he's going to get 2 cards for
Yeah. Well, we have these.
power challenge.
To also be fair, for in-person play, we have these fumbles all the time that will occur, I say immediately after a window, right? And it's perfectly valid to not allow a take back in that regard.
Yeah, I mean, Mad is actually really hard to resolve for me in person because you know how you have to somehow choose in order, and I don't know. Usually when I saw it played, people just, okay, I'm putting this on the bottom, and it all happens at the same time somehow.
Yeah. Miha, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the way it goes is each player, like starting at the active player with a simultaneous choosing, like the active player chooses 3 characters, then do they do all of their choosing, or does then the player who's
I think
second choose
one person
after
chooses
that
everything.
everything first? They don't exchange character to character,
Yeah.
attachment. Yeah. It's a strange
But at least on the Iron Throne, you see everything that the first player chose when you start choosing.
Yeah, it's not exactly 100% correctly implemented, because if there's cards in shadows, it doesn't the log doesn't tell you whether they were chosen or not. But in person, you would know, because
So you should know that.
you should know that, yes, because you have to point at the 3 cards that you're keeping from hand or shadows.
right. I'm just curious, does well, like, you've probably played Greyjoy, either of you. Like, does Risen from the Sea pop up? No, it should. It's an attachment at that point. Maybe like wasn't highlighted.
I think it does.
Mm. Recruiter is gone. That's a big swing there.
Yeah, and this
I
is...
played with Florian Jonker and that usually lights up, so I don't know.
Does he take bodyguard, which I think should definitely be a yes here? Is
Yeah,
where Stranger?
otherwise Stranger just kills both. I mean,
He
you
did
get
not.
you get cards for John if Stranger kills
Mm.
both.
Right, but I think he did not take bodyguard here. This is a Stranger round, which maybe Francis is fine with looking at the card differential, right? Like now it's all of a sudden, look, he's got a full hand. Oh, there's
Yeah, but
one bodyguard and shadows,
Could
right?
be one bodyguard in hand, and that's really
In
terrible.
hand.
Like,
Yeah, that'd be.
Night's Watch also gets cards for John Arryn, so
do we
More
get
power.
a mutiny now? Can't mutiny Stannis, but you can the other guy and then March. No?
Is mutiny without attachments?
No, just anyone.
Oh, he's immune to events. That's what it is, right? I always forget that about him. It's probably the best keyword in the game.
Yeah, so this has now swung massively.
Yes.
If he failed to click on John Arryn at least so that he goes, but he clicked on John and not his attachment, that's the worst thing.
mm.
But he can Stranger now. And I think he will. Or does he
Definitely.
siege prep? No, he Stranger's okay.
Yep. He probably anticipates that, has characters on hand. I think he lets Night's Watch go first, right?
Mm.
He
Mm.
goes first with the
I
two
would also
claims.
just
let
gonna
Night's Watch go first,
accept-
just because of the Ramsey threat.
Except the Ramsay risk. I guess he must have a chub, right? And he's willing to take that risk.
Or a ward threat even. Is there ward in the Night's Watch deck?
There's one word.
Ah, okay.
He did not. Oh, I just realized he didn't choose the wall. Yeah, shut down, I guess.
It was seized for another couple of
Mhm.
rounds.
Yeah. I feel like
Still
Mad
not a
King's
single
command.
character in discard pile.
Mad King's command is essential against these Night's Watch decks. I see that Henry has commented if Francis wins from here, it might be a little controversial. I've seen more
I don't
controversies.
think so much.
It was a legitimate mistrigger.
Yeah. Because it probably wasn't a mistake that he tactically didn't want to choose, but he probably did forgot that he has attachment and just passed too fast.
I click through windows all the time,
Yeah.
especially in the playtesting server.
And especially you'll see, okay, Qohor deck has their attachments and you just pass. I think yeah, mistakes like that happen. It's more misclick, but still, I think fair enough in the semifinal. You have the right to reject.
I think it was the right call. It would have felt weirder if it was the other way around, to be honest.
Especially
Also-
because with Mad King's command, you have to look at the deck and put it
Yeah,
back, and then there would be
yeah.
some weird play where you have to manually then discard John so that can get played again. You can just drag it
Absolutely.
in.
Yeah, so now it's not looking as good as we thought because nothing big has come in. So we have a little Voltron Alistair.
Yeah, it
The
has to
best
get more power to actually be on Disputed Claim.
Oh, no. I'm just wondering. So no bodyguard. Yeah, I think maybe it's in hand. It's suffice to be seen, but I think getting that second bodyguard would have been nice last round.
Well, if there's specifically now
still those
Yoren and Ramsey
potential-
as such, then it's struggle.
Ooh. Well, he can't play both. He doesn't have the gold for it.
You can
but-
play Recruiter and Cold Hands though.
Oh, nightmare fuel.
I mean, even Cold Hands alone, just to get rid of Alistair with the two attachments.
It would kneel cold hands.
But if he has nothing, he can keep the two shadow cards now. Presumably, there is Bolt on Flare.
Can cold hands resolve if he does not have a what's it called? Another character out?
No, he needs something.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so he needs a shut in cold hands.
So he's gonna grab Ramsey now.
Mm-hmm.
And Ramsey alone's not enough. Needs something more.
He'll have a flare
Yeah.
that he could pop out and, at this point,
But he's gonna kill himself.
He would kill himself, but that stops Francis from. I guess Francis would still swing power regardless, just to take
Oh, this
the
thing.
two. Oh, saved. Oh, man. Just an awful. It's an awful event.
Well, I don't know. Is it so bad?
Is it so bad?
Oh,
It's
and
just.
Bolton flare from hand, actually.
Why did
Oh,
he do
man.
that? That sounds terrible. That's just getting killed now, is it not?
Mm. Well, now Alistair could get a bodyguard.
I
Yeah,
think
but
you should oppose this with Acolyte so that disputed claim doesn't turn
Turn
on
on
and him.
Lightbringer Alistair. Yeah.
it's 2 claims, so it will, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It will turn on, and then he's just going to do 2 claim military. I don't know why bring Bolton Flare out from hand. Should come from shadows.
Yeah. I think he misunderstood that Disputed will turn on. So for everyone sneering at Voltron Alistair,
Hmm.
it's a thing.
I mean, he's still
He's
getting marched, but okay.
Yeah,
he
but then you're not
made
playing
yeah.
Stitch Breath, right?
Yeah. He's slowing down Bamboo. So you have to remember Alistair, I think, was really the key component in the 2019 Barra Cohort deck that kind of established it, right? Being able to air him, put everything on him. He's
Alice
just
great, yeah.
so versatile. Yeah.
Mad King's Command.
And now just needlessly giving away power
Lightbringer.
for unopposed when Acolyte's going anyway.
You're right. So no need to even get the bodyguard now because he's going to get marched.
Mhm.
I still think probably it's in hand because it was so easy to just play that on Stannis.
Hmm.
Was it easy though? You needed a lot of defense to not get Ramsed. I don't know if there was enough gold.
Yeah. That is a big turn for Francis right there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think that was a bit of a misplay for Nightwatch as well. I don't
Yeah, if he has the Flare and Shadows, which I think he
Yeah.
mathematically has to, right? There's just no reason not to wait.
I think Bamboo has misplayed his way into a defeat in this one. He can march Alistair and hope there's still nothing in hand to come after.
What happened to the third underground vault? Am I missing?
It was
Yeah, it got
sacrificed
set for
for the Bolton
Arthur's
event.
actually.
Oh, the Bolton event. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And now the Econ's gone.
Yeah.
That's a good siege turn. Francis has enough econ to keep the train rolling here.
If he tops deck some power icons that don't get removed, I think he's on the verge of winning.
I think so.
I think you can just continue to go first because there's not even a threat of Ramsey coming with the Volt Snelt.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't have the gold. Look at that. Miha, do you see that? That's initiative control right there. Wouldn't have gotten that initiative control with King of the North.
No, but still stop the vaults and a lot of triggers that could happen. Stop a whole cold hands that could come in now.
Sure, in this matchup, granted, King of the North would be good, but in general,
Actually, it will be tough. I don't know if is there King's Roads? Probably needs
No,
one.
not King's Roads, but I think Recruiter's best bet if Francis doesn't march or something.
you need something
Something
else.
else substantial.
Because he needs to get an attachment out
Mm.
to prevent 5 gold for Ramsay.
Oh, well.
Not that Ramsay would help that much right now. It would just
Ooh,
make
that
his
is,
board.
yeah.
Oh, Davos
Wolf
is very
nice.
good. Very good in this matchup. No attachments. and save for the Flayer, maybe. Honestly, I think, you just don't really. So you have the intrigue,
I'll do power with the insect guy and then
military.
military. I mean, it doesn't do anything, but
No, like you're guaranteed the question is it worth the intrigue challenge? He could essentially, no, power, yep, and then int with the flare. I mean, not the flare, the acolyte. Force Aemon
yeah,
to be
but if
milled.
there's player,
But then
and
Flare would have to
then yeah,
kill him. Like, Flare's gonna have to kill if there's military, or if the Flare, it will have to kill itself or Aemon. So the Flare's just gonna swing int. But
yeah, that's why I'm thinking. Like, if you do intrigue with acolyte, acolyte's gonna defend.
Well, it's this guy, it's not a flare, but it's only an intrigue
Mm.
icon still.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Didn't even consider that option.
So there's no flares at any point, so all that talk about misplays the previous round. I mean, it was still kind of a misplay to play something that just died, but
We are sorry, Bamboo. We don't know what you have to go through here.
yeah, to be fair to him, I mean, I think he'd prefer to have the flares. It's not so good,
Yeah.
but it did stop the 2-claim power going through now.
It did. It did.
So if you don't like cards in hand, I mean, oh, you can defend anyway.
Yep. 2-claim int now, which will be very good with this hand differential. He's running out. Bamboo's running out of fuel. Running out of nightmare fuel.
Castle Blacks, he was not going to play that, so
Yeah, I don't think you had
Double
the.
blacks. Oof.
so now it's siege prep into what does Francis have as the last one?
Burning the books is still around, which
Ah.
doesn't do anything. So
Well,
is
but
that the last one?
he
Then,
can
yeah.
play anything he top decks for sure on that one.
Has good stats for him. Yeah. I think some of Night's Watch best shadow cards are the big hitters that everyone forgets about, like Janos, and then obviously the old the Forest Patrol, right?
Yeah.
Those are just the ones that come in for not a cost.
Moricon.
And now they're coming and they're going to close, I think. Yeah.
And I think if there's
Ooh.
oh, that's even better. I was gonna say Lightbringer, but
Well,
both.
he can still get cold hands though.
I think that's GG there.
If cold hands comes in, it's still playable.
Oh, because he picks Robert, right?
Yeah.
No
No.
good hands. Yeah, don't think you can survive this. 3 challenges with Robert.
Yeah. If he had John Erin, he could have had the cards.
Could have, yeah. Gonna force a nail on Eamon.
Intrigue challenge wins it. Well, so I guess we got the decider anyway. I don't
So
know
all pressure
how
on Henry.
Deciders are more fun. Come on.
I don't know how it would
Exactly.
have gone with that Mad King's command play if it was correct. I mean, it was such a big swing. I think Bumbo probably had it.
Yeah, I think the misplay there cost him the game.
So Jing and Henry are playing the last one, or Jing and Rupert?
Jing and Rupert.
Okay.
And on paper, I think that's the matchup that works the best for Barra, to be honest, because it's the smugglers one, right? With all the who is Night's Watch? Are they playing aloof in that game?
No,
No, it's uniting the realm. So
Oh,
I'm not sure about that. There's a lot
actually,
of-
that's still bad. Yeah, that's gonna be a really good match. When is that? In a couple hours?
yes,
I think in
they
an
have
hour.
yeah, they have an hour break and then mutiny. If he still had time, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
That's it.
Wow. Yep.
That's tough one to take for Knights, which would have been a match point here, basically, and they're in the final.
Well, we get more high stakes thrones, so I'm not going to complain about that.
No.
Yeah, definitely better for the spectators.
Mm.
Okay. So then I
So,
will take this hour to upload some previous games and such. We'll be back with the next one.
Sounds good. Thanks for letting me join y'all.
yeah, thanks for joining us.
All right.
Yeah, welcome to join us again in an hour. That goes for everyone.
Sounds good.
And
All right.
we'll see you then.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye now.